All right, so welcome.
Think you don't know?
Well, what I do know is that this particular episode of Tribe Talks is the first of the new year where we've all been here.
Oh, that's fair.
And isn't that wonderful? Isn't it magical? It's like
a beautiful thing.
It's a fresh new year. I feel like we are
It's
like
a brand new day and the sun is high.
Are you singing
However,
Dr.
as that
Horrible?
song goes. Yes.
Gonna die. Okay, so this is the musical edition of the Tribe Talks podcast. Welcome.
The Tribe Talks, the Tribe Talks sing-along blog?
Yes, it's
There you go.
it's Dr. Scribble's sing-along. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Sing-along podcast?
Yeah.
Dr.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. We'll go with
Yeah, why
that.
not? Yeah.
Doctor, I put one on the podcast.
This is the supposedly Swigger podcast with, what do we call it? Is it the Welshman, the whale, the wolf, the wolf, the Welshman, the whale, and which one? We haven't decided on a way we're calling it, but I think that just adds to the charm.
Every time.
It does change every time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's more fun
But we are officially here. And if you are listening live, then you are obviously a highly intelligent and attractive individual, and good things are going to happen to you this year. If you're watching it on YouTube, then potentially you're also all of those things. And if you're listening to it on a podcast hosting website or Spotify or iTunes, then I guess, hi, how's it going? Love you.
Yeah.
Yay. So there's been absolutely nothing new come to the game. Oh, no, that's completely wrong, isn't it? There's been a few things that come to game because CG has come out of hibernation from the winter period, much like a little bear snuffling its way out of its little bear cave and going, I smell galactic chases. I smell the return of a legendary event, which has the timing of what should have been its first release. But hey.
Yeah.
So, Bo-Katan coming back after 30 days. That's a kick in the nuts, especially for me, but there we go.
I was very famously insistent that way. I thought it was be months and no
You're
way
like,
she was coming back.
It'll come back next year.
1 month. That is absolutely crazy. Like, it's... I don't want to immediately just start off the podcast just saying, like, holy shameless, but damn.
Yeah.
It's just like...
But it
I think
is.
you hammered him home too much. Yeah, you repeated that 918 number too much, and there was like, ooh, 918.
Well,
I like that 918.
I was actually curious because obviously when the Bose event first came around, I hopped on a particular Wales account and I did a video guide, how to beat the Bo-Katan legendary event. And I was like, well, the Bo-Katan event has gone live again. Let's check how many live views this has had in the last 24 hours. And it like shot up by 350 or something like that. And, for a month-old video, that typically it doesn't just randomly get additional views. So I think we can assume at least 350 extra people have got Bo-Katan, but it's probably closer to four times that.
I mean, when I looked last week, there was 3,500 7-star Keller impacts. So my guess is that we're gonna get easily a couple thousand unlocked on this pass.
All right. I was thinking like an extra 1,500, 2,000 is how I thought it would go. So we should like end at around about that 3K mark, probably.
Yeah. Comfortably in that wheelhouse. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just crazy, man. Like, and anybody who said they saw it coming is just full of it. Like, nobody saw that coming.
100%.
An epic confrontation circling back that fast is absolutely nutty. Like, and I think I mentioned this yesterday on Jedi Academy. Like, the only reason this makes any kind of sense is if CG is just like, you know what? We'll probably get more people to spend if we change legendary events to release in 1 month intervals, because we're not even to the point where Kelleran's farmable yet, and there's going to be, so that means you had to at least buy him through shipment, so you spent at least a couple $100 doing that alone for his character and for IG-12, because I mean honestly, IG-12 has been farmable for 5 days prior to the event going live. So you had to do those two. So it's like if you're doing all of those, then they're still gonna make like easily $500 per unlock on this this next pass.
The thing is, it's not only like if you look at it in another perspective as well, there's plenty of people that have got crystal hoards that are quite happily, do this sort of thing. So it's not only is it encouraging people to spend, but it's also encouraging those people with crystal hoards to actually dip into those crystal savings, because getting a character through character shard shipment farming is like 3 times more expensive in crystal terms than hard node farming that character. Even with refreshes, like 2 refreshes, you're still on average coming out on top. What do you get? It's like a 33% drop ratio, right? So even if you're refreshing a character node once, you should be getting like 1.3 shards for 25 crystals for that first refresh, right? Compared to the 80 crystals per shard it is to shipment farm a character. Even at the 50, you're still it's still cheaper than buying a shard through shipment. So for them to encourage those people to just use their crystals to shipment farm, it's obviously taking crystals out of the economy. It's costing the player base money. So if they're not buying crystals specifically for that crystal shard farm, they're losing their money, and down the line they might try and spend it, or it'll cause more of a crunch down the line when it comes to like new capital ships come into the game and stuff like that. It's I don't know if they're going to do it every month. I think we probably will see it disappear now for 4 months and things will go back to normal.
You say all this.
Oh yeah.
I'm not
No,
I'm putting nothing down now.
Oh yeah, no, we weren't expecting to come back after a month, so I'm not putting money or anything on it not being a 1 month cadence, because holy crap.
Oh my days, it's so true.
The first monthly legendary unlock.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's the only thing that really makes sense. Like, it feels weird to say it, but like, it's the only reason in my head why I think they'd even bring it back, and they're incentivized to keep bringing it back on a monthly basis because of our Datacron set that's going to be out now. And I mean, it's stupid powerful.
God, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's stupid powerful. Like, there are so many things you can do now that are going to be dude, think of it like if you could do Adrad Bo-Katan and like duo just so many teams, like Adrad, Jin, and Bo-Katan, because once Adrad gets to his ult, he just gets rid of all the protection, and then she can just go through and basic everybody to death.
Delete everybody.
She doesn't. Well, no, I take that back. She does require full light side Mandos as part of her caveat to her.
Oh, does it really?
So yeah.
I didn't know that.
I take that back because I was thinking that, man, I feel like we would have had it in, but it's gonna be powerful.
The one thing we were thinking about, like with the way her Datacron is actually going to work, it says whenever she does the basic, on her turn. We know that Datacrons like that, like how they function, it doesn't matter if it's like doing your basic or if you're called to assist and you do your basic or something. Think of like Hondo and the 100% turn meter on basic cooldown reset thing. His special calls himself to assist, he does his basic, he gets his turn meter, gets his cooldowns reset. If Bo does her big mass assist, calls herself to assist twice, and then one of those basics is done on them when they have no protection, theoretically, she should get the bonus turn. And should be able
that's crazy, isn't it?
From that.
Yeah.
Well, she's gonna turn one delete somebody on the opposing team that's on a GL.
Yeah.
Right?
No matter what.
Somebody at random will lose their protection.
Yes.
So instantly dead. So that means
if
she
it's
takes
Lord Vader, it's all of them.
Yeah, and then so that means she immediately takes in another turn, which means she can then immediately call the mass assist and likely get the kill again, and then it's like you're gonna be like like 3 to 5 advantage, like in a heartbeat. Just like, oh, by the way, I win. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, we had, I think it was on Friday. On Friday, somebody in the stream, I can't remember who, I apologize, but they sent a video of Bo-Katan and IG-12 soloing. I say soloing, duoing Lord Vader. The whole team just dead.
Yeah. 2v5.
It was like, all right. Cool.
Yeah, because she gets a bonus turn at the start of the battle, and then she just immediately deletes everybody besides Lord Vader. And then
if Maul's on the team, she can't because of the stealth. She can't get to Maul, but it doesn't matter at that point because she's killed like 3 other characters. It's just Maul, maybe somebody else hiding in stealth, and Lord Vader. It's like, you're done.
Well,
you're cooked.
At that point, it doesn't matter. And the thing is too is that we still have set 11 active. Once set 11 drops,
Yeah.
Lord Vader teams are going to be just made of paper.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to be able to sit there and just tank the damage indefinitely anymore, or put out tons of damage, because there's hardly really any damage modifiers in set 13. So you're just kind of going to be sitting there staring at the wall.
There's like what, crit damage on that?
Crit damage is the only offensive stat in set 13. Yeah.
Yeah. We
Everything
got
else.
crit avoidance and potency, tenacity,
Is
dodge.
it crit avoidance or is it special crit avoidance? Because like
It's
Oh.
special crit
Is
avoidance.
it
thought it was-
really
I thought it was-
special crit
yeah.
avoidance? That's rubbish.
Yeah, no, it's super, like, they are super anti-special damage right now. And
Yeah.
I'm just like,
So I'm guessing next set we'll see
Wait, no, it
anti-physical.
says crit avoid. No, it says crit avoid over here.
I
On the
mean-
Datacron stuff, it says crit avoid.
okay, yeah, because on
Datacron says
his
crit avoid.
on the post he said it did a special.
Yeah, the
Oh.
post said special.
Well,
Okay,
the post
Datacron
can
says
lie.
crit avoid.
Yeah, because I did
The
I did a
post-
whole video on that, and then I've got the amount of comments on my YouTube saying it's not accuracy, it's potency, and I'm like, yeah, they changed it after I made the video. Come on, man.
The funny part is though is that it actually isn't wrong, because of the sole fact that it's how CG writes it on their back end. Like it's
It's
it-
still wrong.
they just have like weird they don't have the right verbiage for what they're doing, and I'm like, well, why do you guys do it that way? That's so stupid.
That is absolutely still wrong. They need to translate it to English when they do those things. Dear God,
Yeah.
that is not okay. I mean, any other time they have like a potency accuracy thing, whatever, we don't notice, we don't care, because it's not coupled with deflection. Now
Yeah.
that it's coupled with a deflection stat, suddenly we notice the accuracy, and suddenly we notice that it's
Everybody
coupled.
loses their mind.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yes.
just go get some more set 12s and get some accuracy on those ones, because
Yeah,
at least,
just-
well, that
yeah.
Go
they're split
back.
on that one too, unfortunately.
That is the saving grace. Yeah, we have some special accuracy there. It's only deflection. It's not dodge.
Um,
So
I mean, but the thing
That's
is, too,
silver
is like
lining.
you look at there are quite a few counters that you can disrupt with high deflection. Not
yeah.
impossible though, because I know I was watching Cathnek's video the other day with Aesop Rock talking about the new set.
Yeah.
And they were talking about like, counters that you would typically have that you might use AdRed against. You could really disrupt by having high deflection, because the only AdRed's all special damage, especially in 3s in particular. 5s isn't their can of worms.
mhm.
But AdRed's all special damage except for his alt, which his alt is special damage, but it can't
Right.
be evaded.
Can't be evaded. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but that's the only caveat. So it's just like
Could you imagine
Man,
how
there's a-
rude that would be if you got to Hope and everybody just evaded the attack? You'd just be like,
yeah,
throw your toys out the pram and walk off.
yeah. No, that would be so just backwards. I mean, but it would be 100% a
Ship a
CG thing to
capital
do.
ship on these guys, and they evade it. Jeez.
Yeah.
How do you dodge a capital ship? It's like, well, I aimed for the exhaust vent.
If you
Get there.
if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
A Star Destroyer, yeah. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a Star Destroyer. It checks out. That math does check out. I mean, as you two rather wonderful gentlemen already have had the privilege and the honor of having Bo-Katan Mandalore for, basically ages now, right? 30 days.
Feels like it.
I, on the other hand, just get to look forward to the BAM Whistling Birds Datacron, because I can't use the Bo-Katan one.
Well, so it doesn't
It
really
does look
matter.
fun.
You would be foolish to run Bam and Bo on the same team for the
yeah.
next 4 months.
Well, now you would,
Like-
yeah. It's a complete waste.
Yeah. Well, she can underman everything.
She doesn't
So
need
it's
help.
Yeah, she doesn't really need help. But like, Bam, like that was like last time we had it. That was GL killing like team comps. Like you
Yeah.
would just nuke the floor.
Yep.
And I'm like, I can't see anybody giving that up for
Yeah.
anything. Like you're just gonna use it. So it's like, All right. Well, there's that.
Yeah.
We were
It's
talking on stream the other day about the datacrons and everything, and so this is a datacron that's come up before, and we actually
Yeah.
had brought up an old Gridden video where he goes, "When you think of Bam's birds, do you think of this?" And then it shows,
Oh,
like,
I
him
remember that one.
deleting Lord Vader, and then deleting this and deleting that, and you're like, "Yes, it's back." It made me really happy. Sorry.
yeah, it's good times. Yeah. I mean, it's just great. Like, I really do like that Datacron, and I like the fact that this time we don't have the other BAM version, which was the constant cooldown reset one, because that was that offered a lot as well. And I just want to have some fun with whistling birds blowing people away because it's so strong. But yeah, it's funny because that Bo-Katan Mandalore one, it's like if you go against any non-GL team, she will literally just solo the whole thing, no matter any GL team, any non-GL team, right? Because nothing is going to interrupt her apart from maybe... Can she be stunned?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
So-
not. She's immune. The only immunity she gets from Omicrons is days, I believe.
Yeah.
But she can ignore taunt during her turn, and then. But the thing is, though, is that it's only the first turn that she gets to strip the protection away from somebody. So the bonus turns only show up when she's killing.
It'll be
killing.
nice
So
firing from that,
it
yeah.
would be a little bit more challenging for her to underman certain teams if the firepower is really high, because she's not she's not a super tanky unit. So
Well, Scribe, I'm actually with you a lot on that BAM thing over there, because back when the BAM had his birds and everything, I had that cron. I think I used it maybe once, because I was always it's alright. Exactly, yeah. Exactly. If they can never get through Fennec, then it's not a problem. So we're talking about Bo-Katan doing 2v5 versus Lord Vader. That's what Fennec and Bam were doing. 2v5 versus Lord Vader. So,
there we go. Did you press buttons on accident? Actually, the one I'm really looking forward to, Wolf, is the Dark Trooper Moff Gideon one. Summoning that free Dark Trooper is gonna be absolutely bananas. I'm gonna love every minute of that.
what do you mean going to? We've already gotten a free preview of it.
We have?
Have you not seen that?
No, I haven't seen.
Oh, dude, I faced it
You faced somebody
faced-
that? Oh, was it in TW?
in GAC. They
No.
don't have They don't have the Datacron, but it's fucking bugged. I was fighting it with Afra. So the first time I fought it with Afra. I went and summoned my droid. Dark Trooper also summoned.
That's hilarious and awesome.
Testing, testing.
Time
1, 2,
I
3.
sent gas, and when the ARC Trooper's turret got summoned, the Dark Trooper of getting got summoned.
That's so weird that it activated without even having
Thank you,
the
chat.
Chron equip, because there's absolutely no way you could have had the Chron equipped.
It was impossible. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a Scout Trooper cron. So it was just the mechanic was just getting triggered somehow in the game. I don't know if it was
that's a great bug to have.
The summon that was triggering it or what was doing it, but yeah, I faced that Datacron twice by accident.
All right,
Sorry, guys.
so
I
just
totally spaced out there, and the microphone for some reason completely stopped working. But it was working fine for you guys on the call. Just completely cut off on the stream. I think we're okay. People are saying we're back, so sorry about that. Professional streamers always here. I think.
It happens.
Yeah. So sorry. What were you discussing?
we were talking
just
about the
confused.
Moff Gideon Chron.
Yeah. Did
Dark
you
Trooper
face,
Moff Gideon?
Any of those yet or no?
Yeah. Oh no, sorry. I mean, not from the new set because currently not locked in. I don't know if there was
we were
some in
saying,
TW.
Well, that's what we were
That's
saying.
what-
I had faced in GAC round 1. I took Afra against Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, and when Afra summoned her droid, Dark Trooper Moff Gideon summoned his Dark Trooper.
Nice.
which is from the next cron set, which shouldn't happen because it's not locked in, and it was a Scout Trooper cron, and that happened again round 2 when I used gas.
This was happening in GAC?
In GAC.
How does that happen?
I don't know, but they had the freaking summon there.
I want to test that. I want to go into GAC. I want to go into Squad Arena and just throw a Dark Trooper Moff Gideon in there with an Imperial Troopercron to see if it's bugged and summons a Dark Trooper. That's crazy, man.
It was wild. Yeah. Triggers and some people saying in chat. Yeah, it was absolutely silly.
Oh, so sorry. So it only triggers when you summon an ally unit, essentially. It's like GBA or whatever.
That's how it happened, or when I had come across it, when I had summoned a unit. That's what Chad is saying as well.
That's screwy, man.
Happening in other instances as well, but
Arc Trooper turret, apparently.
I don't know. Yeah.
That is nutty, man.
Yeah.
But there are no bugs in this game, so I mean, we can at least thank the QA team at CG, because they do a solid job. But yeah, any other level 9 crons you guys are looking for in this new set? Because there's some ones that look like fun, from what I recall.
Yes.
But mostly for me, it's BAM.
There's a few fun ones.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got the depth to do some of the Rebel Fighter ones, I think there is a lot of potential in that mix, because the Rebel Fighter tag is pretty pervasive between you know, most of the Rogue One faction being Rebel Fighters, most of the Mon Mothma team is Rebel Fighters, except for her, of course. And then you got the Saw team, and then you've got some bleed over with that with Leia, because Leia can take Rebel Fighters with her group as well, and still do some things. So there's a lot of overlap that could cause a lot of chaos. But it's until we get to test it and see how the game reacts and how the mechanics actually play out, it's hard to say with 100% accuracy of what's gonna do what and cause the biggest problems. But
yeah,
it's also for the Rebel Fighters specifically, like, you think like the ones that are there, like Jyn Erso is sort of meh. She gets like crit damage, defense pen, whatever. The one that looks kind of interesting is, I know it's painful to say, but the Bodhi Rook one, and then
I knew you were gonna go with Bodhi.
And then the Chirrut Imwe one. Both of those look pretty good, but they're locked to allied leader is a Rebel Fighter.
Yeah.
So
that's clearly very deliberate, right?
There's only one of.
it's soft. Well, you could use a wedge lead. You could use. Yeah. You're not doing anything serious.
You could have no leadership and just put a Rebel Fighter in the leader slot. Job done.
Technically speaking, but you're not doing anything like serious with that team. So basically, it's soft.
Yeah.
So
it
sort of lessens the impact of those ones a little bit for me.
So's my ego. It's also a little bit sore right now. So.
Yeah, and just to clarify my point from earlier, I'm talking about the level 6s when I was talking about Rebel Fighter.
Okay, sorry.
Flexibility is that we're not looking specifically at the level 9s, because those are far more limiting on to what you can do, because the two powerful ones have Rebel Fighter restrictions, and then everything else is kind of like okay. It's the big ones are going to be those level 3s and 6s. The doubt and the protection up, man, that's going to be obnoxious.
I really like the protection up, man.
The doubt one is going to be incredibly powerful, because doubt prevents so many things from happening.
Well,
it's gonna
TM and
disrupt
buffs, isn't it?
so many. Yeah, it's gonna disrupt so many counters. You can't recover protection. I think you can't get her meter. You can't get buffs or something like that as well.
I think it's just buffs and turn meter.
Yeah,
I think, but I mean that might be changed under like Malgus lead or something like that. But I think the actual debuff doubt only does like no buffs and no turn meter or something like that. Because I remember looking at it like a week ago or something. Was it a week ago? I can't recall. My memory is not the best. Let me just have a look.
Yeah, a lot of those mechanics, like they'll have base mechanics, and then they'll have like extra things under a certain leadership. So like, when it gets dispelled, Malgus will apply this, or they'll do like sort of extra things.
Yeah, Malgus, his Omicron lets it spread, doesn't it? And in GAC. So where is it? Doubt. Can't gain bonus turn meter or buffs or recover protection. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So no protection recovery, no buffs, no turn meter. Nice.
Yeah, it's really gonna screw with a lot of counters to certain things for your dark side teams. So those ones are gonna be quite powerful. To just because they're gonna trigger so frequently. That I think
that
they're
protection
gonna
up one, like you were saying, for the light side, because we're losing all the Ray Ufu, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
What happens when Ray does a lifeblood? She loses 25% health.
Yeah.
And goes to 75, so
Yeah.
she gets protection up. Then
Yep.
she does it again, goes to exactly 50, gets it again. So you're going through an extra Ray and a half over there. So
Well, and the protection up is nothing to sneeze at too, man. It's huge. When it comes to how much you're getting out of it. It's 50% protection up for 2 turns.
So huge that is.
And you
Oh
get
my god.
You trigger that 3 times.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to go through the health pool and a half of every character that ever has that Akron equipped. There's a lot of power with those level 3s in particular. But the funny part too is that the dark side one, the threshold is much lower, so that you only need to get knocked to 90% for the doubt to start getting kicked around.
Yeah.
So it can get really nutty, which is nice because you don't want to get down to like 25% health and then be like, oh, somebody gets doubt. It's like, no,
you'd skip right over that threshold, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but like having Malgus is going to be a fun one to have with that mechanic, and then there's going to be a few others that are going to be really fun.
Yeah, I was going to say, because DR will health equalize, won't he? So he'll technically trigger it twice as well. If he gets hit, he'll health equalize with Malgus, for example. They'll both drop to like 50% health. That'll trigger 2 lots of random doubts. It's pretty badass.
In 5v5, it's going to be quite powerful for Malgus teams, just because his Omicron is more powerful in 5v5 that spreads doubt. So if you're getting additional sources of doubt to show up, especially early on, then that's going to cause a lot of heartache.
Oh yeah. And we were saying the one other thing, like you were saying, Scribe, just to keep note of, is those thresholds, 90, 70, and 50. You can skip those thresholds. So
yeah, exactly.
Straight to 70, your 90 is worthless. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. And that ties into what Karth was saying. If it was like 25%, you could just completely miss that and just one-shot the character, and then you lose all the benefit, right? So higher thresholds are good. Yeah. If they're nice and spaced out, like you said. So, yeah, it's good times. But we've also
seen a lot of fun things.
Yeah, it's nice. We've got Conquest starting on Monday, haven't we? Well, tomorrow. That is Monday.
Sorry. I had a sub goal recently for a probe droid. There's a probe droid cron which converts all the protection to health and does like extra damage and self-destruct and everything.
Oh god, yeah.
I'm throwing probe droid.
And he can revive. Yeah.
Revive is gonna be great.
And he does so much damage, man. So much damage on that explosion now. It's just that's going to be a lot of fun. He does need it. They just need to turn that Datacron into an Omicron for him. Like, I know he's got one for TB that basically does that, right? Actually,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because the blow up deals in the actual game, it's just massive damage. Yeah, it's just massive damage.
This is nothing.
So this gives you an additional true damage equal to 50% of his max health, which is just gonna be. It's gonna be up there, because he
converts all protection to health, and
Well, but his unique also gives him quite a bit of max health, if I remember correctly.
My IPD is still sat in my roster, like being a mod mule.
Yeah, his unique gives him plus 50% max health.
Oof.
Okay. So he's gonna get thick.
Yep, he's gonna be juicy. He's gonna be juicy, and those destructs are gonna be juicy too. So that's a cron I won't use, unfortunately.
You deal massive damage, then you deal bonus damage to other enemies equal to 30% of their max health. Oof. So you're gonna do, depending on where that damage from the cron gets tacked onto, if it's gonna be part of the AOE damage or if it's gonna be part of the target. Okay.
Yeah.
Because if it was the AOE damage, man, that would be.
Yeah.
That would be wild.
IPD blows up and destroys the team. That would be amazing.
Mm.
I like it when they do dumb characters like that have incredibly high power thresholds. For fun.
I'm looking at you, Ayla.
Yeah.
Also, it was suggested in chat, and I really want to find a way to do it. Run probe droid with Captain Han, so you can have Captain Han revive the
Constantly revive him.
memes.
It would be kind of funny watching Captain Han revive Probe Droid. I mean, there's a bit of poetry in that, I think. But yeah, I'm not going to be able to use that one, unfortunately. I'll miss out on that, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm sure I'll find a Rebel Fighter one to have some fun with.
It's incredibly niche though, because it's like the Africron is more powerful, so it's like you're gonna keep using that with that. So the only place he could really be revived in that could do it would be a sortie team, where he could revive through spare parts.
Bring back the GG Nuke team. That's what I say. IPD can go on that team.
I say that, and I realize that I think that's not actually the case, because I think sortie is a prevent. No, sortie spare parts is a prevention mechanic, so it doesn't. You don't actually die. So if the character actually dies, they don't become revived.
I think they do. It's a revive that can't be prevented.
Yeah, I believe it's
that's what sortie's revive is. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Because the amount of galactic challenges that have gone in is like, oh yes, permakills. Let's bring in gas, and then you kill the unit with spare parts, and they just come back. And I'm like, I hate you, sortie. You're just the worst. Take an old Dakka.
If they're defeated, then they are. Yeah, there you go. IPD with Dakka Zombie.
IPD with Dakka, with Zombie, with Captain Han, and Visas Mar. You just keep blowing up IPD and bringing them back. It's going to be a good time. That is clearly in jest, ladies and gentlemen. People are going to go to the comment section and say, Scribble's such a moron. He doesn't do stuff. He's just foolish. It must be...
Scrib, I lost my GAC because I tried that team and I blame you.
You said it could kill GL, Scribe. I hate you. It's not really bald. His hair's growing into his brain, or something like that.
I'm gonna do some of that wonderful testing with that Krennic level 9.
Oh God, you've got the Omni, haven't you? You got the Omni?
Have the Omni. Yeah. Oh. I have a Relic 8. I have a Relic 8 Krennic as well. So.
Oh, it's another stacking damage one. Okay, so there's a couple of the stacking damage ones. It was on him. Who else got the stacking damage? Jin got a stacking damage.
Yeah. I know it's not amazing, but I'm kind of looking forward to Adrad getting a little bit of a boost there. You know, stacking damage on Jin, it's not bad. It's all right.
We were talking about Adrad losing his damage if people are evading his attacks. Jin stacking a little bit may make up for that.
Yeah, exactly. They're just all dodging hope.
Yeah, she's just a physical damage dealer, so it will counteract. The one that I'm actually interested to see, especially for the Rebel Fighter faction, is the Biggs combination, because the Biggs one. It just has a lot of interesting applications.
That's the TM one for attacks out of turn, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whenever another ally attacks during his turn, Biggs and that ally gain 25% turn meter.
Yeah, Momo going to be turn meter training. That's going to be cool.
So it doesn't say limited once per turn. So if Biggs does a basic and 4 people assist.
25% TM. Woohoo!
He immediately goes again. It's literally going to be
100% TM.
Yeah.
If is that a Rebel Fighter lead only?
No.
Good.
Whenever another ally attacks during Biggs Darklighter's turn, Biggs Darklighter and that ally gain 25% turn meter. Doesn't say limited once per turn. Doesn't say limited to this. Just says it happens.
The one that I saw that was really interesting was
I can get behind that one.
I believe Aesop brought it up, but it was Leia lead with Biggs and Wedge.
Oh.
In 3v3 with that Kron.
Yeah.
you could get up to some really nasty shenanigans.
That's not bad.
But that one's interesting. I heard a lot of people saying that one would be really good with Saw, but I keep looking into my head and I go like, well, the only assist that's ever called during Biggs' turn in the Saw team is his own assist. So I'm like, I don't know if I'd bite on that one for a Saw team. I would need more of an explanation as to how that would be really
Which one?
powerful. Having the Biggs Cron with Saw.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't do that with Saw.
I pretend like
the,
Saw's team just doesn't exist. So
I mean, yeah, because isn't yours still like
I have
Gear
him at Gear
12?
12. I got
Gear 12, baby. Yep, Gear 12. He's like so far in the what is it, like the windscreen mirror, that I don't even know like when I'm gonna see him. He could be Saw. He could be something like Jar Jar Binks for all I know. Who knows who I'll gear first? It'll could happen, and that's without knowing when Jar Jar's coming
I don't
in 6
see
months.
Guerrero.
I like
him.
I didn't saw him.
I like the Bodhi-Cron. I really want to know what the Bodhi-Cron, if the revive is a one-time thing or if it's just any, because it doesn't say limited once per battle. It just says whenever if there's a rebel active ally alive, he revives.
I
and
think
takes
that's just like it reads on the Ron Seal tin. I mean, it feels like the that modifier that was in Conquest with the Rebel fighters, where if you summon the extra guy, it's just permanent revives. That's sick.
Yeah, which is it's really interesting. But I mean, for me, I keep looking at it. I'm like, man, I really love the idea of the stacking offense being absolutely off the rails with Chirrut and Baze.
Oh yeah,
Like because it's an infinite stack, right? So they can they get it all the time.
Yeah.
But it's whenever an ally gains a stack of heal over time, Chirrut and Baze gain 10% offense stacking until the end of battle, and then Chirrut also gets turn meter. Well, the first thing Saw Gerrera does is give everybody on the team on the very first instance of the battle 2
heals over
heal over time. Yeah.
That's hot.
So
You get it?
And what does the Rebel Fighter
immediately-
level 6 do?
you
Whenever
immediately
Rebel
get
Fighter
100%.
allies.
Yeah, just refreshes it, right?
They'll say the level 6. Whenever Rebel Fighters lose a heal over time, they gain a stack of heal over time.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's Vader's leadership, but for heal over time instead of damage over time. It's gonna be nutty, man. There's gonna be so much damage from Chirrut and Baze. That's another 2 characters that I don't have invested in. I think CG just combs through my roster and they're just like, what doesn't Scribe have? Let's make us really powerful Datacron for this character.
Well, you know what Scribe doesn't have?
These nuts. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's also true. It is no Catan for me. It's a no from me, unfortunately.
Noping on the Catan.
Just noping right. Well, I mean, I've got no way of getting Keller and Beck, so it's impossible. Unless he just happens to turn up like 30 times inside normal shipments for me to buy the shards. And I've checked every day since it was announced that she was coming back, and he's turned up once. So I'm like, yep.
But have you checked every day 4 times a day?
Of course, we're all addicts here.
Okay.
Naturally.
All right.
It's fun times. Yeah.
There are a lot of interesting things with it. I like, as much as I think the Bodhi one, I need to see the team that the Bodhi one really shines with for it to make sense to me, because it's like it's getting him to take a turn. I think once he takes a turn, it's gonna get nutty, but without that, I have a hard time seeing it being better than the Chirrut Baze one, because I think you'll just ramp offense so fast. I mean, Chirrut starting out with 100% offense gain out the rip. he's gonna hit really hard.
Even
like,
without specific damage modding, because he's just gonna keep on going and
Yep.
going and going.
Yeah.
And in very short order, he's fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's going to ramp up real quick, and good luck trying to kill him.
Second special is gonna just absolutely mollywop the crap out of somebody. It's gonna be really interesting to see that. So there's a lot of things I'm interested to see, but it's the age-old problem that we're still not getting away from right now, which is that this next set and where the GAC is currently is, there's no defense really that you can craft that's gonna be unstoppable. It's gonna be inexperience is what's gonna get holds, not because you have there's a defensive powerhouse team that takes a very specific counter, or it, you have to multi-tap it. It's just like, nope. It's just the fact that you haven't experienced that cron, or you put too much on defense and you don't have a good counter. That's going to be where the holds come from. Otherwise, I think, and this is what I'm seeing most people do now in the top end of Kyber 1, it's just lean defenses and heavy offense, and then you just play the efficiency game.
Yeah, it's definitely been happening. And we managed to win on your account on Friday, right, Carl?
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Well, I desperately want to see what he tried to take against Qui-Gon Jinn, because it didn't make sense for him to fail that battle, but he was already gonna lose no matter what, because when he beat my Rey team, he got a 67, which is a 57.
Is that with? Yeah, I was gonna say with a 10.
With the 10. So he was already down 8 banners on that fight, and so
that was relatively efficient. 1850 is not a bad score.
We were the soft, like the hard max is like somewhere in like the low 1900s, because I know Aesop has, like, his last round had a score of like 1902.
God almighty.
Well, he's fighting these accounts at the top that are not supposed to be there.
Like
okay. Yeah, bless
so
him.
He was getting 69 and 68s on every single fight. So he lost, I think, like, he could have had another 12, 15 banners if he had been able to 69 everything, but the fleets he couldn't
69 everything
underman as much. So
I'm a child.
But it's going to be interesting to see where the efficiency game goes, because it's not a fun one to play.
But I don't like efficiency matches. No. Yeah. It's but it is what it is. So, yeah, I mean, I imagine it's mostly a problem that occurs to Kyber 1 players. Truth be told, I don't think I don't think it really exists so much as prevalently below that.
When you start falling into if you start falling into the middle of Kyber 2, GAC is a completely different can of worms, right? Because you're talking about players that have far less roster development, far less Datacron investment, far less Omicron investment, and so you start getting back to these teams where you're facing people who have that don't have all the modifiers to their accounts. So it's easier to construct things in that environment, because you don't have to worry about, they'll just use the Africron and there's no risk to beating Jabba or beating Starkiller or beating whatever else, because the Cron carries so hard. So it's like you fall far enough into Kyber 2 and then you don't have to worry about any of that stuff, and then GAC changes back to there's actually challenges that can be occurred and whatever else. But when you're at the top of the game and everybody next to you has all the same characters, all the same relic levels, and all the same Datacrons, then it doesn't matter anymore. It just comes down to banner pinching, which is a very boring.
I guess I'm also not like massively stoked about it in general, because I'm not a good efficiency player. I've never been a good efficiency player. It's like it doesn't make for entertaining watching either, does it?
No. And you have to try so hard too. It's like it's not.
So let me stall out for this one extra banner here, guys. We just gotta wait it out for an extra 3 minutes, even though I've won this battle. Hold on. Do you remember people used to do that with JTR, with Illuminated Destiny and BB-8 against crew teams? I mean, I say that I used to do that, but it's like you're like, I need a couple more specials.
We're fine. Don't worry. We got this. We're not gonna time out.
Quickly land the heal immunity on crew. Let's go. It's like it's not fun. Not fun to watch.
It's such a pain to do too. I mean, it's like when you're doing like how I'm doing right now, which is just saving everything for offense and then undermanning all the teams that I can. Like that's the only really way that you can make it kind of, because there's some things you can do that are kind of fun to watch, right? Like taking solo Slacker versus Traya,
that is
which
actually cool.
You probably won't be able to do after this next one, because you don't have Traya is going to ramp too much offense and she's going to just melt your face off. But you could probably still do like Slacker and Watt and get through it relatively fine. But there are some undermans that are interesting to watch, because it's like it's a gamble on just to see if it works in the first place, and then there's a gamble to to see how what comes out. Like when I did a Lord Vader solo versus a Dash team, and I didn't check the
Okay.
Kron. The Kron had the level 6 of ability blocks.
Oh,
no.
So until I got to my ultimate every turn, or not every turn,
You're
I
just
couldn't-
basicing.
I just could basic the entire time. So it got really like a couple moments of like into the yellow, and I'm like, oh, I'm so if they do some things, I'm screwed. And then luckily, I'd like by the time I got to actually being in threat, I could ult and then immediately use the heal and then get out of it. But it was dicey to play. But it was, I mean, I 69 the team at the end of it, which is
Of
fun.
course
But
you
it
did.
was those ones are kind of fun to watch. But like watching, I gotta stall this out for another
Yeah.
30 seconds so I can get back to Jabba's ult, so that way I can finish with ulting, so I get
I
full health and
think-
protection, or playing like Starkiller the same way. It's
I
like
th-
waiting for the
that's-
ult for the same reason.
That's kind of the big thing. I think undermans are entertaining to watch, but efficiency
Yeah.
plays are not, right?
Yeah.
So we had it in the chat here from Wilco, actually. He was talking about the GAR ISC counter versus gas. That's incredibly entertaining to watch because it's just ridiculous. But it's
Not fair,
entertaining
ISC versus
because it's
anything.
like... Oh, I mean, yeah, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because it's just like they throw out so much true damage and it's just constant attacks. You're like, look at me go. That's fun to watch. And it's good banners because you're
They are gonna be
undermanning. But
so good this coming up.
yeah.
Oh my god, but the Mandalorian Kron, Gar and ISC are gonna be monsters. They're gonna
Yeah, but-
stack
Even more
up
so.
so much offense so quickly. Holy crap, I am looking forward to that shit.
But what about Empire? Because they can swing either way.
They can.
That's true. Yeah. They can double dip.
They go
Mm.
both ways.
Yeah, they do. GAR and ISC. You heard it here first. They go both ways with those datacrons. I'm wondering how that's gonna. Yeah. How is it? Do you think that's good?
realistically? I'm thinking about like for Maul.
Yep.
Maul and Lord Vader. Think about where we're at. A lot of people have Bo-Katan, especially after this newest unlock and everything. So I'm thinking Lord Vader on defense is going to be a very bad idea coming
Yep.
up soon.
That's a
So you're
nope.
bringing Lord Vader on offense. Sometimes you need Maul, sometimes you don't need Maul. So if you're doing a Maul team,
Especially in
Gar and
threes.
ISC, especially in threes, or if you're doing a Maul team in fives, Gar and ISC are naturally going to be on that team.
Mm-hmm.
So that's sort of where I'm going with that. What are you thinking for Empire, Karth? I want to hear your thoughts.
Whoa, I was thinking in threes, more or less, setting them up to be either Empire or Mandalorian, going either direction. Because that's the hard part with them, is that they
The flip-flopper.
in a lot of fives mechanics, the it's all about getting your counterattacks going, right? So
Mhm, yeah.
like I ran last season of 3v3, I ran Gar, ISC, and Piet. Because
Oh,
Piet
yeah,
has
I
natural
remember that.
counter chance, and he
okay.
can call to assist with his basic. So that did get quite a few holds at the time, just because of people not knowing what was going to happen, and then it caused problems.
Yes.
But that it just depends, because there's not really good third Mandalorian in threes to run with, because then you start needing to focus back to Maul. But like Maul, Gar, ISC in threes, and even like most Relic 5
Yep.
nests can take out with no problem. So it's hard to say. I would need to dive in more to the Empire faction and the level threes. But I think that if you got a doubt level 3, and then either in any of the Empire or Mandalorians you could run with on the level 6s, and then still wind up with some interesting stuff. But as a specific Empire team, the only one I have would be for 3v3, and that would be Gar, ISC, and Piet.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think some offense stacking over there, and you may get enough stacked up offense, then this may have some problems.
Eventually.
Well, except for they only stack offense when they critically hit enemy during their turn.
Whenever a Mandalorian ally had damaged an enemy with the attack, if the enemy is damaged during the last Mandalorian ally's turn. If you're doing Maul,
Yeah.
it does five damage. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah.
Talking about.
I was looking at the Empire faction.
Yeah, that
Oh, yeah, look at the Mando one.
that
Yeah, all
Mando
Mandos
one
do
is
2%
gonna
offense
clap.
taken. And it's for each instance of damage, it says. Whenever Mandalorian ally damages an enemy with an attack. So if they're doing extra damages and everything, I believe that'll count for the regular and the true damages.
Yep.
So that's gonna stack up real quick.
Yep. Maul is gonna be a bit of a monster, truth be told, because
Yeah.
he's gonna stack up a lot of offense, just himself.
Yeah.
Scary times.
Yeah. Throw Candyman in there in 5v5 and.
Why is that
It's
happening?
scary.
Sorry, guys.
I'm interested to see if that how that stacks, because it says whenever a Mandalorian ally damages an enemy with an attack, if that enemy was damaged during the last Mandalorian ally's turn, they all gain 2% in offense.
Yep. So Maul's turns
Yes.
are extra turns. He gains a bonus turn with Seething Rage.
Yeah.
So every time he does that, he's definitely
So
stacking.
it's whenever an ally, whenever a Mandalorian. My first reading of it, I was thinking whenever that ally deals damage, then everyone gains 2%. But it's whenever a Mandalorian deals that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Maul
that-
lead
yeah,
is just going to be nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're gonna hit, what is it, with Gar ISC, Django, and Candyman? You hit 9 times in a turn.
With the Maul leader, just one Seething Rage. If they've got a debuff, isn't Django going to double tap?
Django will, with a debuff. So after
And they'll get
Candyman
debuffs.
takes his first one, he'll hit twice.
Yep.
So you're gonna gain like 20% offense every time you use Seething Rage.
Yep. That's,
And so by the time
that's
you're
okay.
gonna kill somebody by the time you get to the last one, because Maul's offense is gonna be off the charts.
Yeah, and his damage is true damage, and it's ramping. What is it, 60% each time you use it in succession? So it's like that's just gonna be nutty. Like, beware of a Maul in this next set. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be farming that up. Thank you, Wolfie. Yep. Mhm.
It's unfortunate though, because it's going to be hard to get him to go on defense. On offense, it'll be fine, but defense it's going to be a challenge.
Is it?
Because
Just to get him
because
started.
you can't take any of the cheeses with Gar ISC.
It needs to be full Empire. Yeah.
It needs to be full Empire
Or Mandos,
Darkside
yeah.
or Darkside Mandalorians.
Yeah.
So you can't bring in like Watt to trigger the frenzy. You can't bring in
No.
Droideka to get the bonus speed from that. So it's going to be challenging. You're going to have to really commit a lot of speed to somebody to make that team a threat on defense. But on offense,
Just have to
you
take
can-
in Gideon or something. He's just got a high base speed. He's still Empire, so
Yeah.
it shouldn't interrupt. But I know it kind of messes. He's not a Mandalorian, obviously.
No, but it
But-
mean it doesn't. You're still going to get the majority of it. You just drop Django.
God,
I mean,
and Gideon would be able to strip all the turn meters away from the enemy.
strip all the turn meter and then kill somebody. And Gar ISC are still Empire, so they're still going to gain turn meter back at the end. of it,
and
so.
that control the situation, the ability from Gideon, it calls to assist as well, doesn't it? So it's like
Empire
already started.
allies,
Yeah, but I mean, if you've got Gar ISC.
I think it's Imperial Trooper.
Oh, it's
specifically.
Imp True. Oh, okay, never mind.
Let me just real fast.
Yeah.
Call all Imperial Trooper allies to assist. So it wouldn't call them, but it doesn't matter. You still get the demoralize, and you get the turn meter stripped out of them. So
Yeah.
because I think your allies still gain 25% turn meter no matter what. So
Yes, they do. Yeah, which is huge.
So you're still gonna
Plus,
go next.
that'll also just immediately trigger frenzy on Maul.
Yeah,
So he's just gonna go.
go next. Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, in 5v5 as well, when we get to that point, because obviously we're going to be transitioning to 3s soon, aren't we? After next week, is it? Or is it this week? I can't remember.
I mean, we have to get the first week of Conquest before
Yeah.
we get 3s.
But when we eventually go back to 5v5s, like on offense, there's almost an argument for not using the first special on Maul if you can't generate enough turn meter, because even just getting those 3 hits of Seething Rage is probably enough to
That'd be a lot.
start
Well,
wrecking face.
Candy gains a lot of turn meter
He does. It's nice.
with that mass AoE. So I have a very hard time assuming that Candyman won't outrun something.
There's teams where he doesn't outrun, and there's teams where you can't gain turn meter. So you may just need those 3 damage dumps real quick just to get that done.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're on offense, you're controlling what you're fighting, so you can, if you can't gain turn meter, you just don't take that team.
Oh, I know. They're just saying that's another option.
Sure.
To have just the other 3 damage dumps, and he may have enough offense just from doing something like that, you could do some crazy shit over there. So,
yeah, it just kind of ruins the 2-turn frenzy, I guess, because then you're just out of it right away. But I mean, whatever works. Whatever gets the job done.
Sorry?
I've seen it come up before in encounters where you just skip the whole thing and just do his damage dumps over there. So you just you have enough and you stack up and cool, you're good to go.
Well, I mean, if there's any kind of Kenobi in that team, I guess it's like, well, I've got my 5 stacks anyway.
Yeah, that too.
Fun times. Yeah.
Funny if you could bring your own Kenobi.
Maul
that would be great.
To beat down Leia again.
I mean, we just anything's possible with Datacrons. So
why the hell not? It's a lot of fucking offense, man.
It is, and she's lost all that extra 200% max health from the Drogonkron disappearing soon. So,
and they lost Drogon taking a bonus turn, and him putting strategic advantage on everybody, or whatever the buff is called.
Yeah.
Keen stratagem. That's what
Keen
it's called.
stratagem.
Will no longer be a full team assist. It'll be calling one person to assist.
Well,
you could survive a hit
when he gets to his turn instead of just starting with the turn.
Yeah. It'd be nice. Yeah, rip that Drogonkron. I mean, it was fun and everything, but I'm over it now. Let's move on.
I was over it so early on. Like I was just like, this is dumb mechanic. Well, it was just annoyed me that they were like, we're gonna make the Drogonkron the powerful one, and then Leia's Kron's gonna suck in comparison.
Yeah, that was an odd choice.
I was like, oh, okay, well,
maybe they just like in reality, if you're going to make a Kron that essentially works for a GL and boosts them, it might as well be on the GL. You know, I know people don't like it when you have a Kron that it's on a GL. GLs shouldn't need Krons, right? But if you're putting it on Drogon, which is basically, the lifter unit for Leia, essentially, you're more or less giving Leia a Kron. So does it matter that it's not on Leia? It's just kind of...
People were using the Drogonkron, getting some very good work done. Like a lot of holds with CLS, with Mothma on defense. People were getting holds. It was doing some work.
Drogon's got some pretty decent plug and play, to be honest. It's just Leia kind of needs him.
It was good because of the everyone started with Keen Stratagem. I mean, the 50% offense boost right off the rip is not something to be overlooked.
So much.
But that was the only reason Drogon. Yeah, the Kron was the only reason that really Drogon has plug and play viability. Otherwise, he's way too slow of a toolbox to get up and running effectively without a team that can kind of support it. So it's like anywhere else now, it's like, you could maybe have some fun with, Drogon and Saw moving forward, but I don't think it's going to be a consistent thing. I think Drogon R2 Leia is going to be kind of the powerhouse, and then if we find some interesting things with Rebel Fighter Krons, we might find a way to split the teams and have some fun, but I don't think it'll be a consistent thing.
Yeah. Shall we, oh my gosh, sorry, for some reason my OBS keeps on jumping over to my main screen. I apologize. I apologize. Let's move on from Datacrons unless there's anything else you guys want to bring up on it. Yeah, okay. So, how about the first unit to be, I mean, Wolfie, that's right, you touched them all. Baby. With consent, of course. Yeah, so how about the very first unit of the year to be released? Wonderful Come Downants.
It's a great unit. But
it needs to get on the field.
It is, well, there's that. But it's a great unit, but it doesn't really move the needle. The most impactful thing it counters right now is the standard executor lineup.
Yeah.
Which,
and it's a bit of an if as well.
For 90% of the people, you're never gonna, because you have to survive the opening onslaught. And then, but like for 90% of the people, you're never gonna see that team on
Well, yeah.
defense.
A lot of
It's gonna be
people
triple attacker.
use
Standard
triple
executor?
attacker.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
standard
beats standard.
It's
executor.
fucking first order. Gee, come on.
But well, the resistance fleet does it way better and way faster, way more consistently. But it's just not going to be what people are going
How
to
often do you
use.
see that on defense? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just
It's
triple
always triple
attacker is
attacker at this
almost the default stance. So it doesn't change anything, and that's kind of the unfortunate part. Is like everyone who asks me like, is it worth getting a 7-star? No, it's a reinforcement, so you don't have to worry about maxing out its speed. You don't have to worry about maxing out its stats. It gets to take its free turn when it jumps into the battle. So it
It's
just
a
needs to
5-star.
have that 5-star reinforce ability, and you're fine. So it's like this is an easy chase to go. Get to 5 stars. If you want to keep pushing up to 6 while you get, the free shards, air quotes there, go through the hundreds on the refreshes, go for it. It is not a ship I would even give a care for hitting for 7 stars. The Marauder was way more impactful, even at low
100%.
stars. But the Marauder at high star or 7 stars is just deletes fools.
I got mine to 5-star today, and I'm probably going to whittle back now because it's like you said, it doesn't do enough. It's not going to impact that fleet enough, and the biggest problem is the fact that what happens between you getting that reinforcement out and the start of the battle. If you lose one ship and another ship is basically dead before you even reinforce, which happens because it's not exactly super chunky, the fleet. It's like it's like great, but it's not a banner efficient team, and you won't win. You might not win. If it needed to have something like provide makes the SF-17 pre-taunt if it's on the bench, and gives it 50% extra health protection and defense until it reinforces.
Give it second win. Give it the second win mechanic.
But it needs to impact it before it's even come to the field is the big thing, because
but they've done that already with
exactly
with TIE Advance and the Interceptor and things of that nature, that they're looking conditionally at a lot of different areas, and it's like I am just floored that they did nothing in the comeuppance kit that was like, if Radis is the capital ship, then this splurge of things happens. And I'm like, it's just one of those, it's just another thing where it's like, you're just missing the mark. And, unfortunately right now, it feels like it's not enough. We don't know what's going to happen in the game this year. There might be, CG might be... There is a strong inclination that they are going to do something with a Separatist fleet and something with a clone trooper fleet for the Endurance. So, but if they're not going to be the new legendaries, which Trent could go either way for me right now. I don't think the Separatist fleet would be good enough to be a legendary fleet or a journey fleet, but it's CG, so they do whatever they want. But
that matters less to me, to be honest. Like I don't really care if it deserves to be.
But either way, we're looking at the potential of having 3 more fleets being completely flushed out by the end of this year. And if that's the case, and the comeuppance starts to help beat against, it does really well versus the Negotiator. It does way more consistently versus the Malevolence for decent banners now. And no one ever sees the Finalizer on defense anyway, so it's hard to
say. Very rarely.
It does just fine against that because you just have so much more staying power now, and it's like, and then the OG Rebel fleet that's been completely neutered, which that's a possibility of us getting some love to that fleet as well, because we got a grand total of 3 weeks into January, and Meathead has made his
already
first
trolled,
red 5 joke.
I mean, to be fair, to Meathead is
apparently the color is red, and it is
5 lanes. Yeah. I saw that in the Swigger events forum, and I think you're underselling Meathead, because technically he's only been working for like 5 days this year. So
no. I just said we're 3 weeks in January into the
Oh,
year.
yeah.
I did
Not his
say
working
how
year,
long
though.
he's been at work.
He's on the ball.
He actually was active in the Discord. I think January 2nd.
Was he really? That's very keen of him.
Wow.
So he was around. It wasn't CG just had nothing for him to push out. So
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, I just kind of laugh out of that because I'm like, we have gone like the better part of like 6 months without a Red 5.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
girl
come
joke,
back
and
now.
then it came back, and I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
Part of me is like, let it be true, because I'm really tired of my home 1 fleet sucking. But the other part of me is just like, how do you bring Red 5 into the game and not have
make
it
it
eclipsed
amazing.
or it immediately go into profundity?
It's got the exact same problem that the Jedi Knight Luke Legendary event has. It's like, you can't win, CG. You've painted yourself into a corner, because if they make it a home 1 ship and it doesn't make home 1 ship completely meta, then people are going to lose their minds. And if they make it and it is amazing, it's like, why is the home 1 fleet the best fleet in the game? Like, come on, man.
Let's be real.
You can't
It's
win.
gonna be a Marauder situation where they make it and they say, "Oh, it'll be great with the newly reworked Mesa ship. It's wonderful." And we're like, "No, we're using it with Negotiator, dumbass. Come on."
I mean,
They'll totally just say, if home 1 is the capital ship. it'll be hard coded, man.
With what is his name? Ravensclaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just one of those things where you stare at it and I'm like, I
All
just
allies are wearing orange jumpsuits or are dead.
yeah.
If all allies have really fetching red jumpsuits, orange jumpsuits with a white trim, yeah.
I mean, I would love for them to do something but they've shoehorned the home 1 fleet into such a narrow mechanic list where it's just like the whole point is is the piston and the target locks, like and that's what you're shooting for a lot of it. So it's like, if they want to drastically pivot away from how they play that fleet, like, it just changes too much. It's like you would need to have like Red 5 be a reinforcement, and then he would need to have like a turn, like get to be a turn 1 reinforcement, and then when he comes in, like, he instantly defeats like the
enemy's capital ship. Yeah, we went over this before.
Yeah.
He just targets the exhaust vents.
Yeah, it needs to be crazy good, and that's the thing is if they want to keep the meta as to whatever they release, then it's going to be hard to give that ship any real power.
So when they brought the ship in and it was killing the enemy capital ship, that was actually a test run for the Red 5.
Yeah, totally.
Cool.
Yeah. They accidentally took some of Red 5's coding and they applied it to the Interceptor accidentally. Yeah, it's just like
the Mark 6 just deleting capital ships.
Exactly.
That is going to be Red 5's basic. Just once he's done that, or they'll make it really boring. It'll be like he's got a basic and a special ability. The special ability is delete the enemy capital ship, target the exhaust vents, use the Force Luke, it's called, and the rest of it is he just basics for the rest of the battle and sits there like.
Do you like to do with the Leviathan? That is like the one thing I hate the most about the Leviathan for cleanup is that its
boring.
cooldowns get reset every time because of how it functions.
Yep.
Because you can only use it once.
Yeah.
So it's
you can't like burn cooldowns against the Leviathan.
You can't burn cooldowns to get to it, and it's like, I'm curious to see how they kind of design ships moving forward, because it's like you get to a certain point where you just box yourself in too much, to where then the answer becomes you have to do something either more drastic or make them immune to the effect. So it's like the Profundity just outruns the Executor. That was how they beat them to the alt, right? So then the Leviathans is kind of the same way. It's like, well, we're just going to slow you down enough to where we can beat you to the alt.
We outrun you by slowing you down.
Yeah. At what point is it just like, this capital ship is immune to instant defeat effects?
It's going to happen. The Death Star laser beam comes on and you've got a deflect shield. It's like, bling. And then Alderaan blows up in the background or something. I don't know. That's the true story.
Watch your capital ship just lift out of the way and come back down.
Cloaking shield.
There you go.
Capital ship is now invisible. Just great. So, but I mean, the one thing I will say about the comeuppance that is cool is like watching the big numbers, the high numbers that you can see coming out of Ray's Falcon, thanks to the what is it, dramatic entrance buff. Like I'm several 100,000 points of damage in an AOE is cool to see. Like 300,000 to 600,000 damage AOEs is like, wow, that's cool.
She already did pretty good damage.
Yeah,
that Falcon does not fuck around.
Yeah, especially when
it comes to
it's
play.
high relics.
Mhm.
That high relics is just like, excuse me while I just melt the entire opponent fleet. Like watching Arnold one tap a full health Houndstooth was just like, okay. Okay.
I see. See that's where they did their testing. But again, like I said, I feel like the problem is what happens between you getting the reinforcement out and the start of battle, because like you need stuff to be alive for it to power them up. So because it's
power up doesn't work so well if they're not alive to get.
Yeah,
it's like double drops. 2 times 0 still equals 0.
Yeah, it's a large portion for me is like, why didn't they bother to do things like giving DI for a turn or something like that, or like a second wind or something that helps your fleet kind of sustain through. And I honestly believe the reason for that is because it's the same issue they had with the Star Fortress, is that if they move the knob even a little bit more to a higher power rating, it would then start dominating the other all the fleets. And that's the unfortunate part of where the Resistance love has always gotten like hamstrung, is like if the SF Super Star Fortress or the Star Fortress could have that foresight
yeah.
Like they were saying, it was like you could get like a 2-turn ult off of the hold, and so like every single meta fleet was at jeopardy because you none of them have a 2-turn instantly defeat the other opponent. And so it's like,
could you imagine if they did that and they introduced a clause into the Holdo maneuver where she only manages to pull it off 50% of the time, so she just like misses half the time. It's like you hit the capital ship, but you only manage to like just clip it by the side, and you've knackered your capital ship, and this is fine. It's like, no.
In honor of the rebels and their horrific assisting RNG, we've decided that our fleet's ultimate will have RNG as well.
Exactly. I mean, they said that the Holdo maneuver was 1 in a billion, right? So maybe that's the odds. 1 in a billion times when you hit that ultimate, it lands. Yeah. But it's off cooldown permanently.
Every turn, and the Holdo fleet has like 500 base speed.
Yeah.
Like,
just turn one. You just go in with one ship and be like, hold on, maneuver. Yeet.
Like that's the only way I would ever tolerate that being a % chance to take effect. Is like basically my capital ship gets to move twice to every one of yours, and my ultimate is always available. So it's like I keep uploading progress to dialing in those hyperspace coordinates so I can blow up your ship.
That's the way. That's the way.
Yeah.
That'd
be crazy. Imagine if that's what it was, and if it was like you start off and you have your ultimate is ready to go, but it's got a 0% chance of hitting because you've done fuck all calculations, and then you get to 100 and you've got a 100% chance of it hitting. So you can at any point in time gamble and say, you know,
that's
what,
not bad.
70 is enough. Let's go for it.
Yeah, it's like, you know what, 2%. Cool. I like those odds. Let's go.
Hey, as long as you're able to reuse it until it actually is effective, I would be fine with that. That would be hilarious to watch.
It's quite a good payoff, to be honest, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I would love watching players gamble that right off the rip.
I would totally gamble that.
One, press the button.
Yeah, but sir, it's on 1%. I said press the button, damn it. Let's go.
I said make the jump.
Oh man, yeah, that would be fun stuff. So yeah, unfortunately, Comeuppance is a bit of a flop for me. It's a shame, but you know, we should have seen it. It's a resistance booster, so it's going to be bad. It's not that it's not even that it's bad. Yeah. It is actually good when it's out. It's just everything else. Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally just the fact that it doesn't move the needle on any of the important stats for a lot of players. Like if it could lead into a profundity counter, then I think there'd be a lot more interest behind it. But like profundity's core mechanics just shut down everything that Comeuppance adds, because it's like, hey, we're getting turn meter. Profundity says no.
No, you're not.
You're not. No, you're not. And you're like, okay, well then that I can't loop around, because the Comeuppance is slow. I think it is the slowest ship that they've made.
Really?
I think
Well, it
at
depends on Terminator
Relic.
games.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if Zori is Relic 9 and your full 6-dot mods, I think the Comeuppance has 137 speed.
Wow.
It is really
That's
low.
atrociously slow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nothing.
So it's like,
Jeez.
I think the base speed is 100, and then Zori's pilot adds
Oh man.
37 at the absolute max of it.
That's like nothing.
No, it's pretty bad. Yeah,
Okay, so overall,
137.
lukewarm on the ship.
Absolute yeah, it had a lot of
Apologies.
room to be really powerful, but they definitely had to walk that back, because I think it would, if it got any better, it would just start dominating like the Leviathan with no problem. And
We're still talking Holdo's fleet here now.
Yeah, well, we would just,
Yeah.
unfortunately. We're waiting
Big
for you to
sad.
come back before we dove into the next topic, whatever that
Oh, that's so kind of you. You guys are such good co-hosts. I'll raise a pint to you. Cheers, Yechid.
Hey.
I mean,
That's a
Don't
nice
judge-
start point.
Take it down.
don't judge me too much. But it's 0% Guinness. It's actually surprisingly close to actual normal Guinness in taste. It's crazy. I was super surprised.
It's non-alcoholic beer.
Correct.
Okay.
Carth's like disconnected.
What's the point of that? I'm just asking for. I mean, Guinness is actually, if you get good Guinness, it's a nice drink to just drink in
It
its
is.
own right.
I love Guinness. I've had 3 today
If
already.
you have Guinness from high tourist places that like to water it down, then that's really shitty. If
I
there's
don't
no
go to those
alcohol in
places.
that. Yeah, I learned the hard way in Honolulu that's you don't order the expensive cool drinks. You just get shots.
Yeah, I see.
There we go.
Very good. So,
It's cheaper.
cheaper for the soul and the wallet.
It's-
So what are we talking about next? We've had Comeuppance chat. We've had Datacron chat. What about the snafu with GAC tables and poor little Erodium counts suddenly finding themselves up against Aesop Rocks and Tasnix?
I think
mean,
it's really hilarious.
It's good.
The fun part I got was like I got a few people DMing me like, "Oh, is this guy hacking?" And I'm like,
No.
to this date, there is no way that I know of that you can hack your GAC score or your rating. So it's like, no, it's just a weird thing that's happening. So whatever. I mean, like I said, like it's a weird dyad that we're in, because the players at the top, the more the bigger accounts catch back up to the because these players dropped in with huge amounts of points. I mean, they were hundreds of points above even the guys at the top of Kyber 1 before it started happening. So it's very challenging. They're going to have a little bit of ability to stay up there, because they're going to kind of fight some of their peers in the middle of having the one Aesop Rock, because Aesop Rock is literally the only account that's actually competitive Kyber 1 in the top 8. Everything else is a joke. But it's going to take Aesop 2 or 3 more weeks of going 3-0 to get back to the top of Kyber 1. And
Carth,
so it's like,
I find this funny because you remember a couple of weeks back we were talking about you wanting to go to the top. I mean, this would have been your your one chance.
Been, I should have been trying a little harder at the beginning of
you could have been stepping on school kids at this point. That sounds like you're a pedophile. That's not the inclination.
Yeah, so it's not going to be that kind of. It's just going to take time to re-equalize. They're just going to get beat down on as the bigger accounts catch back up to those locations and they start matching with them. They're going to push them out, because they're going to go, 2-1 at the worst of it, and 3-0 more likely than not. I think Arnold's video he did today, he counted like 30 out of the top 50 are accounts that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, that's quite a lot.
So it's like it's a lot of players, and so it's like it's one of these things where it's like it's interesting to see what they do about it, but I don't think it's gonna suck for them for a little bit, but it's also really nice for them because they're gonna get a nice little crystal boost instead of getting Kyber 5 rewards. They're getting
I mean,
Kyber
nice,
1 rewards.
nice for them, but they'll also get to experience what the game is like right at the top, and they'll be like, "Oh my god,
I don't like this. I don't like this."
Not like these." Yeah, it's like that's one of the more, I don't want to poo-poo it or anything like that, but it's one of the more interesting bugs that has been introduced to the game.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely. Well, yeah,
It's
this is
also funny because like, sorry, go on.
I was going to say it's up there with the Interceptor one tap in a capital ship. It's just kind of like, that's funny. I mean, maybe Tasnix doesn't see it that way, but go ahead, Wolf.
Yeah, right. The part that I find the funniest is that because so many of them like jumped up, and it wasn't just like 3 of them, but they're actually like staying up there for a while because they're fighting each other.
Yeah, well, that's part of it. Like I said earlier, out of the top 8, only one of them is an actual top GAC player, which is Aesop.
Yes.
So, but the other thing is too is that it's not just the fact that they're fighting themselves. They are getting so many. Like when the first ones happened, these players had 200 to 300 points more than the guy who was number 1 at the time.
So they started from
they started so much higher that they won't drop.
Funny.
Yeah, they won't drop till they lose like an entire season's worth of GACs. So, like,
Well, I'm sure that they'll just get squished by like 1,000 points or something. They'll just go.
Well, but it's going to be targeted too.
Well, it will.
You're going to have to go through and adjust manually. Like you should have only gotten 100, so we're going to have to go in and reset your score. But CG might just fix it and say, well, we don't want to do this because we might cause more chaos trying to manually fix your scores. So we're just going to let you suffer and fall back to where you belong.
They're getting a higher crystal payout for where they are. So,
yeah,
I mean,
but you're going 0-3s too, so you're not going to be getting a lot of crystals from wins.
Well, I mean, it's like Wolfie said, they won't necessarily go 0-3 because if they match up with each other, there's a chance somebody's going to win.
That is true, but it's only when they're clustered tightly together. When you start getting more of the bigger accounts in there, they're at best going to go 1 and 2. Because
filter down though,
yeah.
But they'll eventually get kicked out and out of the way. But it is humorous to watch these 4 players. And it's like you don't even see it. Like watching this like 4 million GP guy go against Aesop Rock in the history. It's just funny because it's like the teams are like gear 12, gear 11, gear 10s. Like the relic like teams are like 1 or 2 relics per team. And and it's just stretching the ever loving crap out of these poor kids' rosters because they went from having to need like 5 teams on defense to 11. So it's just like they are just absolutely just getting run over, and it's just like, oh, that's so sad.
Do they have that many teams?
Well, they're just putting down things on defense to fill the zones. Like at a certain point, I would just be like, I'm gonna put 1 team in each zone. I know what's gonna happen. You can just enjoy your max score win, and then we'll call it a day.
It would be for those people that are like trophy hunting. This is my one chance to actually land a max banner GAC. It's never going to happen ever again, but I might be able to solo every single squad and every single fleet. Let's make it happen, guys.
Just DM your opponent and just straight out.
That's what I would do. That's what I would do.
Anything on defense.
Yeah.
clear your board. Let me get the hard max that is available, and then I will give you Google Play credit. Send me a Gmail and I will DM.
Let's have a link to your PayPal account right now. All right, I'll buy you something pretty.
give me a Gmail account and I will get you a Google Play gift card.
Or you'll send them a Tuscan bust.
Right? Is such a great idea. gotta. Hey,
Oh,
remember,
no.
you gotta pay your court fees in Google Play gift cards.
Oh, absolutely. That's how they do it these days.
Yeah, that's
Good
what they do
times.
it. Yeah, yeah.
100%.
Mm-mm-mm.
I've totally gotten calls like that from and tried to like people like actually try to scam me with iTunes gift cards. I'm sitting there like,
Yeah.
how
What?
does this work? How does this
Right.
actually work?
It's a scam in the States where they'll call up and they insinuate legal action if you don't pay your fine, but then they want
Okay.
you to pay your fine through like gift cards, because once you purchase the gift
You've got to
card,
pay
the
this
money-
fine in Bitcoin. Come on.
Yeah,
It's
the money is
stupidest fucking
untraceable
thing.
once it hits a
Yeah.
gift card. So
Yeah.
once they have the information, then it sucks to be you. It's fair. You can't get them declined. You can't get them repossessed. So it's just you just do whatever you want with them. So that's a huge scam thing that they'll be like, oh, well, so your loved one's in jail and they need you to pay their bail, but you need to do it through Google Play credit, and
But-
just like
We only
Like,
have
what?
Target gift tokens, so if you could send
like,
us
my only
10,000
family members,
pounds.
it's like my only family members should be in jail, so just no.
Thank you for doing your bit for the community. I really
Yeah,
appreciate you. Mhm. Oh, it's good times, that is. Bloody hell.
Oh, yeah.
How about GAC, guys? How are your GACs? How is your this last week gone? Round 1 and 2.
I am 2-0 right now, and I'm probably gonna go 2-1 after this.
I mean, I won half
heard-
your battles for you. I'm just saying.
I mean, well, so far this week. But my current opponent is 14.3 million. They have 378 plus 25 speed mods.
14.3 million. Oh
Yeah,
my days! Oh no!
They've got a lot of toys, a lot of R9s, a lot of good Datacrons, and it's just like I'm staring at that going just like my only shot of winning is through efficiency and praying that because he's put down some really weird teams, and it's because he can afford to do it. I mean, he'll have like Riva lead Inquisitors with Malicos and Slacker and
that is
just
some bonkers.
really just odd teams that he can concoct, but he's got the depth for it, and he's just trying shit out, which is fine. He's a very good player, and so whatever, who gives? But it's just like for me, I'm like my only chance is winning through efficiency. Like there isn't a defense I can put together that's gonna really slow him down, unless I go really hard.
I mean, I assume this is a silly question, but what's his mod game look like? What's his plus 25s? On the speed?
378. to my 97.
300 and what? 370?
370, yeah.
That's 20.
So-
Dear Lord!
Yeah. He's got just over 1,500 6-dot mods, 378 plus 25s.
I'll give up.
His
Okay.
total
I'm done.
his
I'm
total
not gonna
20
win.
pluses.
Have a good
His
one.
total 20 pluses is 972. He has 92 relic 9s, 167 relic 8s.
Nearly
and
100 relic 9s. It's like a third of his
Yeah.
roster.
He's got double what I've got.
Oh.
I've got 45 and he's got 92.
This
And
is
then,
what
of
like the
course-
average person must feel like when they face Karth. They're like, "Oh my god," and Karth's like, "Oh my god."
Yeah,
hey.
so I have found a fellow kraken in the depths of this hell. So they've got
That is insane.
324 rerolls on their Datacrons, and
Oh, is that all?
they've got the only area that I've got more mods than this guy is I have more 10 to 14s than he does.
Oh, yay! Yay!
He only has 72 10 to 14s, but he
Oh my
has he literally has double and some change of the 15 pluses. He's got 1,300
Where's
15
those 10 to
pluses.
14? Oh my god, that's fucking holy crap.
That is next level kind of ridiculousness. I mean,
This is definitely a player who puts a lot of effort into their mods, which is fantastic. I would kill to be 22 short of 400 plus 25 speed
I
mods.
have those kind of options. Oh
Yeah.
To
That'd be
have
juicy.
my top 20 teams be full plus 25s.
modded out the eyeballs. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Like, Yeah, every day of the week I would love that, and so I'm not looking forward to
Wow.
a fun match.
Yeah, I won't play that one for you,
see how
Kev.
it goes. No. My entire strategy is to pray that he leaves me a relatively easy board that I can underman and get a really high score on, and then be done with it. But my guess is that I'm gonna make a mistake somewhere out there, and then it's over.
Yep. So, Kart's got a fun final round. How about you, Wolfie? How has this week gone for you, mate?
Interesting. Round one had a really, really clean ground game, and then just had like things kind of fall apart on fleets, and then amazingly managed to pull it out of my ass and got the like first order worked versus triple attacker.
Nice.
And negotiator worked versus Leviathan. It was everything just decided like out of nowhere the random crappy things decided they were going to work. But and then the ground was all fine, and then round two, ground just goes to shit. I was facing, it was a very weird lineup. It was Ray with GK in the team. And Sorty.
Yeah, another one.
Well, when you faced it, did GK have VIP?
What? How does GK get VIP? Did they just go like full defense and no protection?
He was back and forth between stealth and then taunting and then stealth and then taunting. I'm just sitting there like going back and forth.
That's gross.
I timed out.
Of course you would.
It was ridiculous.
What were you countering with?
I was using JMK. So in retrospect, I should have gone over to and just insta-killed JMK a lot earlier. Sorry, JMK. Insta-killed GK a lot earlier and dealt with him. If I had dealt with it differently, then I would have been fine. But it was just like in the moment, it was just, what is happening, right? I was really confused, and it threw me the fuck off, and ended up just snowballing from there and ended up getting lost. But fleets went perfect.
Good.
Round two.
Nice.
Fleets went perfect round two.
What's your last round looking like?
But yeah, so 1-1, we'll take it. Final round, I haven't even looked.
So it definitely doesn't have like 92 Relic 9 characters, no?
No, definitely doesn't have 92 Relic 9s. Oh,
That's okay.
I don't think Wolf is quite in the same neck of the woods where I'm at.
You never know. You never know. I've seen these 3 million accounts at the top of Kyber 1, so don't act like it can't happen. All right.
I didn't say those words.
I used to be touching top 100. It's just I've been lazy as shit recently, so
that's fine.
I don't want to hear it.
So my GAC week has been heartbreaking, to be honest. So, like, I went 3-0 last week, so I knew this week was going to be rough. But like the first round, I was up against like a 13.4 mil account or something like that. And when you've got like 11 mil, it's quite a big difference. And I lost that by 4 banners. So I was like, damn. And it was really dumb because it was like I dropped 1 battle. And it was against Tuscans with C. And I was like, I shouldn't have lost that. Damn it. It was like C had like 95% TM, and he was about to get killed, and he had ultimate and linked, so I would have, and a health steal, so I would have basically healed up the whole thing and killed 2 units. But no, he just got killed right before his turn. I was like, I hate my life. So that was fun, but the opponent Flicker was really nice. And then I faced off against some other guy who has like 12.2. Something like that. So he had a million and a bit over me or something like that. And again, it came down to 14 banners I lost by, which again came down to me dropping a silly battle versus Ewoks. So it's like, so I've lost 2 back-to-back battles by the skin of my teeth. Very frustrating. So hopefully I can win this last round and not go 0-3, because 0-3 makes me a very sad panda. And I don't want to be a sad panda. But
at least now going 0-3, you're not going to fall out of Kyber 1. So.
No, I'll still be in Kyber 1. Yeah. Yep, I will. No matter what. No matter what.
That is good. What's your skill rating at right now, actually?
Ooh, let me check real quick. I was 3,760 or something like that, but I've probably lost since then, so I'm probably like 3,720-ish.
Okay. I'm at 3,699.
3699. Oh, you've got a 69 in there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Indeed, I do.
Oh, no, I meant 3690. We're pretty close, Wolfie. 3690 after that loss. So
Okay.
it's unlikely that we'll match up because 9 banners is a weird number to try and close, isn't
Way
it?
too far apart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only way you get close with that is if you're in the top like 50, because then there's actually a decent spread
Yeah.
between ranks. There's usually like 10, like somewhere between 5 to 10 for most people, like in the mid 30s and 40s between ranks.
Right.
Where the lower stuff, it's like one banner difference might be 12 players.
Wow. Yeah. It's crazy. So yeah, it's been a bit disappointing, but I have had fun because obviously we did play Cast Account on Friday in the stateside stream. That was good fun because I got to blow stuff up, and I got to use the Malicos counter versus Ray, just throwing rocks, baby, throwing rocks, and wiping
so
the whole
much
team.
fun.
Like,
So much fun.
God, I don't know if you saw it on my account. I think you'd gone by then, but I think the Malicos team, the time I used him against Ray, then his rock throw killed literally everybody. Everybody died. Ray went into red health, and he just did an extra attack and killed her. So he just went woomph, woomph. Everybody died, and then he just went yeet and killed Ray afterwards. It was just perfect. I was
Go
like,
and finish that up real quick.
nice.
It's so nutty watching Malicos do his thing, man. It's just absolutely clapping cheeks.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah. So this is the final week, isn't it?
Yeah,
fives,
of
yeah.
5v5, yeah.
Yeah.
This is
So-
the final round of the final week of
It's
fives.
the very last one, which we'll be doing tomorrow in, like 20 hours or something like that.
Very last 5v5.
Ever. Yes, we're going into 4v4 next. 6v6. Oh,
I would rather do
6v6.
6v6 than
Imagine some
4v4.
good team battle 6v6. Replace the summon with an actual unit. I'd be okay with that.
Huh, dude,
I mean,
I want to use Phoenix. Like, let me use Phoenix in 6v6.
well, Phoenix is now 7, so
Even better. Even
you
better.
would need to do 7v7.
Good team
There you
battle.
go. But this thing is like, I wouldn't mind more units in fights. It's less because like the entire game is not designed. It's designed around 5v5, and then they're like, well, we'll just do 3s because reasons, and like it's the most hated game mode. Like they lose like 100,000 signups every time 3v3.
Do they really?
GA, yeah, it's a massive difference in the signups for 5v5 and the signups for 3v3.
Mm.
And then a lot of people who even play 3v3, they just play to get their rewards. They don't actually play the matches. So it's like there's a percentage of the players that sign up that don't even participate besides just getting
they just
10
get the 10
points.
and call it a day. Yeah.
Yeah. Because even for losing, like up in Kyber 1, it's still 200 crystals every other day for a week.
Well, exactly.
So it's like,
yeah.
you might as well show up and then take your last player's rewards and have a
Why
good
not?
day of it. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, it makes no sense not to sign up. You might as well sign up and, take your lashings and just earn some free crystals, I guess. But what would be some other fun teams if we could have a 6th? Like, obviously Sith Empire would be pretty good. Being able to have additional Sith Empire in the team. You could throw in Snips with a Gas 501st team, couldn't you? She's 501st.
That would be
Yeah.
that would be fun. I mean, it would be cool to have
Or Night
like
Sisters.
add a
Ooh,
modifier
Night Sisters.
to the board where it's like if a Galactic Legend is not in the leader slot or not on the team, whatever, like in totality, then you can take in a 6th unit. Like, because the mechanic exists, right? Because we're allowed to bring in the ally unit for our ground battles and in
Yep.
the actual
Yeah.
PvE environment.
Yeah.
So it's like the mechanic exists, so they could do something similar to that. That would be interesting because then that changes a lot of some of the teams like threat levels. Like, think if you could do a full dash team,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then add
yeah.
Hondo to it.
Oh.
Like,
Sounds like
you
good
could
business.
you could do some fun things with that. I think there would be a lot of options for doing something like that. And I think that would go over fairly well with the player base because with adding another team to it, it just makes things more offensively manageable, and so I think it would make that a lot more fun for players to have more. It's 3v3. It's the concept of less that just really nukes everybody in the shorts.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of 3v3 in general. I don't like the game mode. I still play it and I still try to win, but it frustrates me more than 5v5 does. I just find it things work that shouldn't and things don't work that should, and that annoys me.
Yeah, the first week of 3v3 for me is always just like, I'm gonna wait until somebody tells me what beats this shit. Usually my first week of 3v3 is like FU defense, just everything I can throw to cause problems. And then after that, I'm just like, all right, now I'll play for real. This is like, I just don't care enough to think about it. It's like it seems for me it's a large waste of my brain power to theory craft 3v3. There are some fun things to do. I won't deny that part of it, but I just, for a lot of it, I feel like it's just not an entertaining mode for me.
Yeah. No, and I can understand why people don't like it.
That's sort of one of the reasons that I don't enjoy the 3v3 as much, because the engagement goes down, the competition goes down, the everything goes down, like the whole level of enjoyment goes down of everything. So
even people coming into streams, right? Yeah.
When the whole community is down about it and everything, and then it doesn't lend itself to as interesting of a of a competitive game mode and whatnot. So
yeah.
5v5 for life.
Whenever everyone shows up to your stream hoping that like you just crash and burn because that's more entertaining than being good at 3v3.
Yes.
Everybody comes to the stream and they're like, gee, this 3v3 sucks. Can we watch more End or Raid content, please? Then that's when you know. That's when you know.
That's when you know. Oh, God.
Hey, you do know that your End or Raid content is getting far more views than anything 3v3 related, so you know.
I mean, that's absolutely true. Those videos still get good views, which is great. And with Conquest coming back, tomorrow I'm hoping the Conquest videos pick up in views again. That'll be nice.
I mean, I know I'll have to be watching them again because I don't remember what I was doing.
Yep, you and me both, buddy. You and me both. It's as much a guide for me as it is for anybody else.
Yeah, all I know is that the first day of Conquest, I am on a mad dash to
Datacron Farm.
Sector 4 Datacron Farm, yeah.
Yep.
That is 100% my objective on day one, is to get there, get the first refresh, and then get all the way out to it. So I'll probably be looking at the 200s on the day one twice, which is going to get really interesting depending on the Datacron setup I get. And then smash that node as much as I can for like the day or two that I get before the force dusting.
Yeah.
More or less, because I've already I have 28 of the set 11 crons. I took up another like eight of them.
I was half expecting to say 28 of the new Datacrons already.
Yeah.
No. Set 12. That's at 13. Set 12.
Yeah.
I am not that crazy. But I don't want to. I really can't afford to put more resources into that set. So I want the rest of it to go into that, but it means I need to burn through like another 50 million data cache, and so it's like I need to get these new crons up to the higher levels, which means I need to farm the shit.
This is always Karth's problem. He just has too much money. I gotta spend money to have more money.
I need to like triple my data cache cap, and then I would be okay with this.
Maybe they could add that into the Conquest Pass Plus. You you get to double your data case cap.
I mean, it would be fine if CG quit doing this inconsistency in the breakdown rewards.
Sure.
Because it was like when it was 2.5 million, it was manageable, but we got a lot more upgrade materials. Now it's like you can't. It takes 20 level 9 Datacrons being broken down to get enough materials to take one of the new set to level 9. Yeah, 20 to get enough of the Mark III upgrade. That's the bottleneck on all of this, because you only get like 10 per cron, so you need 190 or something like that to get it all the way up there. So it takes a lot. But in the same stroke, you get 4 million data cache per cron that you break down, right? So you're getting like 80 million data cache in the same thing, and you only have a cap of 30. So you gotta dump it somewhere in the process, and so it's just a pain in the ass to manage it on the way out. I think they need to, if they're gonna keep giving us way more data cache on the returns, then they need to do something to manage that better.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Yeah,
I think they like the fact that people have to mad dash to invest that data cache somewhere else.
Well, but it's a problem.
It's not player friendly. Like
it's
is the main
but
thing.
it's only a problem for a select few people, though, right? Like
It's a problem for me. Not to the same extent,
yeah,
but it's a problem. I always cap out if when it comes to crunch time. So.
I mean, it's a smaller problem for you to lose a few million versus me losing like 90 million.
I lost like 60 million last time.
Oh,
like
wow.
60 million data cache. Yeah, it was crazy. Oh, well, no, sorry. No. I had 60 million, so I lost 30. But it's still a hefty sum. That's still doubling up.
Shit together.
Yeah, I know, right? I was so lazy, though. To be fair, it was my own fault. I couldn't be asked breaking it down and investing it. So I was like, I guess I'll...
So what I did on this set is I stopped with set 12 at 20, and when the conquest was finishing up, I did a couple refreshes on sector 1 to get like 10, or well, in this case I got 8 blank datacrons. But I kept farming the materials for it. I had over like 4,000 of the Mark II and Mark III upgrade materials.
Yeah, I didn't.
So when that came through, then I just went through and started dumping data cache into those as a way to kind of help manage it. So I'm up to 28 of them now at level 9, but I need to put the rest of it into set 13. Otherwise, I'm going to be too far behind on that because I need to, need is a strong term, but I quote unquote need to have probably the better part of like 10 of them.
I've seen the efficacy of your Datacron set firsthand, so I guess where it comes from. It's this crazy level of investment and hyper focus. But having all of those, like, it's just another 200-300% defense Datacron. Let's use that one. Oh, if you don't want to use that one, you could also use this one. If you don't want to use that one, yeah. It turns out, Wolfie, if you've got a Datacron with 95-96% protection on JML, it does stuff. It does stuff.
Turns out
JML
like ideally rolled and re-rolled and like ideal like freaking fantastic data crons actually makes a difference. Optimizing your crons.
JML was practically committing war crimes with his call to assist. Like it was just filthy.
Was absolutely wild. Holy crap.
142,000 damage or something on the call to assist. It was ridiculous.
That's more than like some people have actual like base protection on the JML. Like that's crazy. It's so much damage. Oh my
God.
Yeah. No, he was doing 145k true damage.
You're one-shotting fools. That's crazy.
Yeah, you for the most part are
like,
and then
but like
GL
that's what I was doing.
Like 100k damage.
I was taking in Cal. So if you go into Dual Saber, he gets riposte. So you call to assist, he attacks under protection, doing 140,000 points of damage. You're like, you're ignoring protection. Oh my god.
Yeah, I can't.
Everything just dies.
That's what I used to use it for. Is I would take Cal with JML, and then I would put him in the riposte, and then I would just coin the crap out of him versus JMK teams. And it's like literally, cats. You trigger the savior, cat then dies. You kill snips. Like you get like 5 turns calling in this in, and everyone's dead but JMK in like 2 seconds. You're like, all right, this was kind of fun.
Yeah. Oh man, it was a lot of fun. It can happen. It can happen.
Gone now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Big
One more.
Yeah, one more. Well, time to use it.
I get one more round. Actually, the Cron is actually gone though because I dusted it already. But yeah, I get one more run of it.
Does it still stay in the lock-in? I know it should, but I've been really hesitant to dust anything that's in an active GAC set because you just never know with CG. Sometimes they miss things, and like 3.5 million GP players jump to the top of Kaiba 1.
No,
Hey, I had my mods
no, they wouldn't do something like that.
on
Not my
my
multi-billion
alternate
dollar
account.
game.
Okay.
I had mods disappear after I was moving them
Oh,
around.
no.
I was moving them around after lock-in for the raid, and for whatever reason, like Piet lost all of his mods, and I was like, so either
The pain is
I
real.
didn't press the button I thought I pressed in Hot Utils, or something's gone sideways. But I had a bug for a while where like my entire roster on the alternate account, the mods were missing, like visually weren't there, and I was freaking out. Like
I was going to say
thing had
anxiety.
been deleted, and so I went to Hot Utils and had it reload the loadout, and then everything showed back up. And so I was like, okay, fine, we're fine. But for a brief moment, I was just freaking out. I'm like, if this account has lost all of its mods,
That's
and
it.
I
I'm
can't
done.
get a remedy, I'm like, this account is done. I'm done playing this.
Yeah.
I will sell it to somebody for $1, and we will be on our merry way.
Happens to your main account, and that's it. Swigger is done. CG will come calling around your office, and they'll be like, Garth, are you feeling okay? We haven't seen you log into the game in a while.
You haven't spent any money on the game in a while. Is everything all right?
It's been 12 hours, and you've not spent anything. Garth, are you okay? No. We
Wellness
jest, obviously.
check. We just want to see if your credit card's still alive. Can you just swipe it real fast?
Give that thing
So
CPR
okay,
quick.
cool.
Well,
Yeah.
cool. Have you seen this new pack? Yeah.
They
Good
do
times.
try that. They do try that every once in a while. I feel like
Oh, really?
they bring me out a pack that's just like, oh, you've been listening to me on Tribe Talks talking about what I need for the game, and all of a sudden there's a pack
There's
here
that Omicron pack. Ah, hello.
Hey, I did get the New Year's one.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
I only got one of them.
Oh,
I
you
could've
showed
bought it
some
twice,
restraint.
but
Yeah.
I mean, all I wanted to do was guarantee that I would be ready for Bane, and I would have been otherwise, but I was low-key worried that the first character they dropped this year was not going to be a ship and be an actual unit that would actually have a good Omicron. So I'm like, I didn't want to have something show up and not have a spare.
Yeah.
So that was the reason I got into that. But otherwise, I would have had no trouble. Because I mean, at this point now, if you're willing to spend the refreshes on the Ultimate Journey Guide event that comes back once a month, that if you're willing to do it, so you get up to 4,800, which is I think refreshing everything once, because you get 2,400 out the rip otherwise. There's another 8 Omicrons a month. So essentially, we've moved from getting an Omicron a month to getting about an Omicron and a half if you're willing to push it up that high. So it's not a bad trade. So
and
it's not that hard.
They've fixed that currency cap glitch, haven't they? I wonder if there's been any make good for people that got boned by it.
I don't know.
Because that's pretty bad if there's been no feedback, because that's a lot of crystals for one.
Yeah, well, one of our guildmates was affected by that, so we could ask them to see if CG did anything for him. But but yeah, that was a pretty shitty one to like. It wasn't like capping at like 7,500. But also for me at the same time, I was looking at that and going like, how are you there? Because like unless you need stuff out of that store, like for me, I only need the Omicrons out of that store. So like I'm only gonna I'm only gonna refresh enough to have the 4 weeks between this event and theoretically the next one. Like that's all I'm gonna do. So I don't know how people were getting to 7,500 and then being like, oh man, especially the people who didn't get it the first time and then they went and refreshed 250 crystals and tried to see it again. I'm like, oh man, 500 crystals out the window to see yourself not get anything. That sucks.
That's very painful. That is. It's like when you go into the shipment store and you accidentally buy shards of a character that you've had at 7-star for a year, and you're like, oh no, I misclicked somehow twice. It used to happen to me. You know when you go into buy in regular shipments, and there'll be a second delay in lag, you'll click the buy button. But I've done that before, and it's like moved me, and I've gone on to a crystal purchase for like 16 shards of Canderous or something, and I've accidentally bought it, and I've gone, no, I don't want to waste all those crystals, damn it. And it's not like you can go, no, give it back. You can probably complain to, yeah, probably complain to CG, but I doubt they'd even fix anything on that. Truth be told, they'd be like, there's a confirm button, why did you hit it? It's like, I was too clicky. That sounds like a skill issue, Scribe.
It was just so shiny. I couldn't say no.
Yeah, big Sag.
How's that tickle your fancy?
yeah. So I don't know. All right, guys. Any other topics you want to discuss here today?
Oh my goodness, I don't know.
Oh my giddy aunt.
I think we're still a little bit in a holding pattern because we got
a little bit
and everything, but really all that we really got was just like the Zori ship. So there was a hint that Meathead said that the road ahead, the fucking red one, which is 5 lanes wide.
Yeah.
Anyways, road ahead at some point coming, which will have a more information and whatnot involved. But we're still
supposedly a marquee, right? Because there was a data mined marquee pack as well.
Yeah.
But that's not come out yet, so maybe we'll see something next week about that. Who knows?
We now know that the marquee will not be related to the ship because the ship already has a pilot.
It does.
So.
Turns out it's Zori. Who knew?
Well, that was something that was suggested because there was like the ship and the marquee that were coming out. Like, oh, will the ship be related to the marquee or whatever? So.
Yeah.
You never know.
That would be.
Short answer is no.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Cool.
So yeah, we're just waiting for more news. We need it. We got to
I do.
have it.
I got to do it. You got any more of those road aheads? That'd be nice. I'd like to see more. Yeah, exactly, Wolfie. You got it. Yeah, no, hopefully soon we'll get a little bit more so we can get excited about what's going to come this year. Well, good times. All right, I'm going to wrap up the Tribe Talks then. Our first one is a full team as a unit together in 2024. You know, because Carthrick's decoffeed his computer. So,
I mean, in theory, that's not correct because the computer is still copied, but it's a whole new computer now.
A whole new comp. Yeah, I'm not going to go into song right now. Today is not the day. All right, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for another episode of Tribe Talks. We'll be back again live next Sunday, hopefully, maybe, probably, definitely. We'll see you all there. Peace out and big love. Bye, YouTube. Let's go ahead and